Well, we knew coming in this series had the potential to go the distance, and it sure as hell has. Empire and Na'Vi, Game 3 here on their lone matchup in our round-robin group stage of the D2L Western Challenge. Na'Vi enters play 1-0 in the overall standings, looking to improve that to 2-0, while Empire, well, they just don't want to fall into the cellar. They're at 0-1 already, taking a rough loss the other day, and now looking to even things up. Draft already underway. We can see Ember Spirit finally banned this time, won't be making an appearance. Na'Vi instead picks up the Dazzle and Centaur with first and second position, while Ancient Apparition once again will be on the side of Team Empire with the Venomancer. I'm your host, Aaron A.C. Chambers, joining me for the Insight and Analysis. Welcome in once again, Trouf. And Trouf, it's been a great series, man. I mean, let's be honest, it hasn't been the most competitive in both games. It has been kind of one-sided in Game 1 and in Game 2, but really these teams have just been stretching their legs. I expect Game 3 to be a much closer affair.
Yeah, I think the drafting issue was the biggest for Na'Vi in Game 1, and Game 2 actually there was a great start for Empire early on. I mean, their laning phase was quite nice. Like I said, they kind of mind gamed Na'Vi a bit in the early portion of the game with getting that farm up on Spectre in the off lane instead of a more traditional tri-lane and safe lane kind of thing. So it worked out for them early, but I mean, Na'Vi's lineup was just better at running at them in the mid game, and they succeeded. I'm very curious about Empire. They were first pick this time, and maybe they're just not comfortable playing Ember, but they actually banned it out themselves, even though they're first pick. So I don't know if they're not comfortable with it. I don't know if they don't value it as much as most teams do. So it'd be interesting to get some, some sight from Mag and see what his thoughts are about that. But that's just kind of an interesting thing to think about right there.
Yeah, it's Ember, like you said, kind of ubiquitous across the board in terms of how highly valued he is by most teams, but Empire is just really not wanting a part of it. Maybe it just doesn't fit into their style. They just much rather play a different kind of a style. They've given a lot more attention instead to the Ancient Apparition, and that certainly has worked out for them at least part of the way through this series. Na'Vi with the interesting pick, not unheard of at all. In fact, it's becoming more and more common. Dazzle coming out this early with the Centaur. That tandem in combination with each other, though, that's pretty interesting to me, too. I mean, Dazzle coming out early, again, not super uncommon at all. The hero is very highly valued by a number of teams, contributes so much, can give you some really nice ways to keep the pressure up early with push. He has Weave, which helps you in a number of ways, obviously early team fighting, even Roshan, so on and so forth. But getting the Centaur out this early, that to me feels, it's not weird in a bad way, just unexpected to see Dazzle and Centaur come out together like that.
Really, I actually think it's quite good because I think that the two heroes work well together. And the reason for that is, I'm almost wondering if they're going to go farming Centaur as a one position in the safe lane and then just get him that fast blink and then just kind of run at people with a Dazzle sitting behind him. It works quite nicely because it makes Centaur right up in your face. And because early on, before he gets a hood, he takes a lot of damage from the double edge. If you can heal him up with Dazzle sitting behind him, you don't feel the effects adversely like that early on. So I like that combination actually together like that. Maybe this early on not so much, but it's still fine to me. I still like it.
Second ban phase complete. We can see Slark and Visage taken out by Empire. No Spectre once again from Na'Vi, and Darkseer going to be taken away as well. So yeah, I want to see what Empire wants to build around this. Ancient Apparition and Venomancer, no matter how you decide to look at it, be it as laning partners, be it just in team fights, etc., they are a miserable combination to have to deal with, especially in lane though early on. I mean, Venomancer, if he wants to go with that very, very abusive, very just unbelievably annoying build where you pick up an early orb of Venom, you can bully people around in lane and just make life very difficult, especially in combination with Chilling Touch and whatever other carry you want to put there, especially if it's a ranged carry. You can just pound down heroes so very fast, and Dazzle will be there to help with that. But I want to see if Empire wants to just come out guns blazing and decide to put these two in an aggressive position, or if they're just going to play it a little bit more safe.
Yeah, I'm actually wondering that too, because they definitely could. Trian picked up here for Na'Vi. I'm thinking that Na'Vi wants to run a defensive tri-lane, and the reason for that is if they're banning out the Spectre, who's generally weak in lane, and you want to contest, then there's no reason to do so if you're going to go aggro anyway. So they also banned out the Darkseer, which is kind of an annoying hero to play against if you're a melee farmer in the safe lane. It could be Centaur. They still might run Centaur as an offlaner, but those are some clues as to what Na'Vi might do. I mean, they're kind of crazy. They kind of think instinctively. I know Puppy does, so Could still be anything at this point, but they're drafting rather safely. They have a lot of run and shoot type of heroes with the three that they have right now: the Dazzle, the Centaur, and the Treant. So still, anything could happen.
Still a Weaver available to them if they wanted to go with that. And a Weaver with with Weave on him, with the Living Armor, and with the Shallow Grave to fall back on is so hard to deal with. And, the same could be said for Centaur as well. So, I mean, there are a lot of cool things you can do whenever you have a survivability-oriented team like that, where it's not just tanky heroes, not just mass AoE heals or anything like that. Instead, just going with individual kind of buffs that work so well on a single hero basis. We're going to see Empire go ahead and snag up the Gyrocopter, more AoE teamfight, and more misery in a tri-lane if they decide to go aggressive. And yeah, Na'Vi will take the Weave. That makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, you nailed it. And I think it's even more reason too after the Gyro pick, because these three heroes before this puck, Ancient Apparition, Veno, Gyro, they have no stuns. They have no way to keep you in place. Maybe the rocket thing, whatever it's called, the missile from Gyro, but that's just not enough. That's not reliable.
Not reliable at all.
Yeah. And so Weaver with the Treant, with Living Armor on top of him, I feel like he's just going to have a field day with those three heroes in particular. So, yeah, I totally agree with you and with your foresight on that Weaver pick. And Puck is a pretty good pick against Weaver in particular, but I don't know. I'm not a fan of Gyro anymore. Like, this hero is fallen off, and in my opinion, for good reason. I just feel like he doesn't have the same oomph that he had, 3 months to 6 months ago. I don't know. I'm not a fan of the hero anymore.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it, it's not so much that he got nerfed as everyone else got buffed. They're just the way the game feels right now. He has a hard time finding his place. I mean, he's ultra BKB dependent, which means you really have to rush that up or just basically YOLO it and go, I'm not going to build it, I'm going to try to rush damage, and that's problematic on its own count. Honestly, if there's any, I don't know. I totally agree with you. Gyro he feels a little wonky, and I think it's because of homing missile. You can't, he's already got great abilities in Flak Cannon, Rocket Barrage, and Call Down, so like a direct buff to make homing missile a whole lot better would just make him OP as hell. But I do feel like there is something under the hood that needs tweaked with him for him to really get back to any real level of popularity, because he is a rare appearance nowadays. But, he does fit in well with what they're trying to do. They're just going to have to make sure that they always, always, always have the initiation advantage. If they can get the jump on Na'Vi, catch 2 or 3, and hello, Sniper once again going to be in action. Second time we've gotten to cast him this week, man.
Yeah, and the thing about Gyro this game, too, is I really fear that if they don't get enough burst on a Na'Vi with his Flat Cannon and his ulti, that they're just going to have too much sustain from Na'Vi with Dazzle, Heal, and Living Armor. So that's what I really feel with Gyro. Nyx Assassin could remedy that problem if he gets a lot of levels, Mag that is. I love the Sniper pick. I talked about this yesterday. It's one of my favorite heroes right now. And it also addresses some of the mobility problems that Empire has, specifically with those first 3 heroes. So, yeah, I can't say I'm never going to not be a fan of the Sniper.
Well, we saw the way that Dindy built him last time against Team Liquid. It was really quite fun, getting a very early Blink Dagger and basically going for, he went Mask of Madness Blink. And his job was not to hit hard, it was to hit often and rely on the mini bash damage that you get from Take Aim. And
which is 40%.
Exactly.
It's ridiculous.
Yep. So, and it was a fun thing to watch because, at that point, I can't even remember what the whole of that lineup was they were running. But I know they were lacking in sustain. They had a lot of one-offs, a lot of, you go in, you can do some AoE here, there's a good stun, and so on. And then after that, they would fall off. But he gave them just what they needed. He was able to just clean up fights. He racked up kills and made it work for him. So, and loading into Game 3 now of Empire versus Na'Vi. This is our last game of the day here on the D2L Western Challenge. Make sure you check everything out online to find the rest of our schedule. We'll be back in action tomorrow. I'll tell you what, man. Tomorrow, if things go the way they're looking, I actually have to fly out to L.A. seriously 3 hours from now. Not even that, 2 hours from now. And, yeah, then I'll stay the night there. I'm actually flying straight back here tomorrow, and we'll be on ground for the cast tomorrow. So I am going to be a tuckered little puppy And you'll have to you'll have to carry me at that point. But at any rate,
oh boy, my voice is giving up. We'll see.
We are a ragged
I'll
pair.
drink my Nest tea or whatever it is I'm supposed to be drinking.
I hear that tea and honey does the job, and
yeah.
I've never had any issues with my voice ever. Like even when I'm sick, it's
I never do either, too, man. That's why it's so crazy, so crazy.
Game 3 just about ready to get underway. The horn blows, and taking a look at the lineup, see who's handling who. It'll be Mag, the captain, on the Nyx assassin here in the offlane. It'll be Puck, played by Resolution. No surprise there. Always want to fly once again. Back on the ancient apparition, Venomancer, handled by Vanscore again, and a slightly surprising pick. It's going to be Silent on the gyrocopter. On the other side of the river, Puppy back on the tree again, and same goes for Havos. He's playing on the weave. Going to be Dindy playing Sniper for the second time here in D2L Western Challenge. It's going to be Dazzle, played by Kuroki this time, as well as Funnick, who found himself an Invis rune, playing on our Centaur War Runner. And I am lusting after that hat, that helmet that he has on right now. I love to play Centaur, and I want that badly.
Oh, the Centaur, yeah. Yeah, it looks pretty badass, not going to lie. I like also Dendy's little set that he's got going on too. It looks pretty cool. Mm-hmm. But with the lanes shaping up as they are, I feel like this is going to be an explosive lane bottom. Here we go with an early point into Poison Touch. The Gale does hit. There goes the Leech Seed as well. Weaver running in on the Van score. Could be an early first blood. He's using juking and jiving through the trees right there. He might not go down, so a lot of tag here early on.
Yep, unable to track him down, and that was actually well played by Vanscore. If they had been able to catch Silent with the Leech Seed, they probably could have killed him and would have been willing to sell out in order to do so. But being able to spread the damage following the Gale, just good play there, but this is kind of what we expected. I mean, this three-man tandem of Weaver, Dazzle, and Tree, I mean, you look at it, and it seems like the first inclination is to look and be like,
Look at Resolution in mid. He's so close to killing Dendy. He might actually kill him. Oh, if he can get that orb. He's playing so aggressively on Dendy right here. This is really good play because if he noticed too, Dendy only had 2 trees pooled to him, so he knows he's not going to get a bottle anytime fast. And you really don't want a fair regen, but Denny's going to have to. So that's going to slow down his item progression early on here.
And yeah, like you said, playing quite far up and having to bring himself another salve as he eats his last tree. Up at top, Mag going toe-to-toe with Funnick. Both should be able to do fairly well here, but Dindy dodging. Nope, hang on. Resolution's going to go for it. One more auto attack. It's going to take 2. Will he get it? No, salving in between the auto attacks. Dindy stays alive while Resolution phase shifts away from the tower damage. So a lot of back and forth here in this mid lane. It's going to be a lot of action to catch if things break out the way I think they have the potential to do so. Navi's tucked up under their tier 1 right now. But, yeah, this bottom lane, as you said, a lot of explosive potential. Same with mid. And Funnick and Mag continue to trade blows in this off lane as well.
Yeah, and for some reason I'm clicked on the wrong tab. Yeah, no, Puck is absolutely dominating Dendy mid. Resolution's doing really well. And even though he didn't get the kill, he made him waste that health potion that he just bought. So this is going very grim for Dendy in mid. And I can't remember the matchup he had yesterday. It's really going to fail me, but I wonder if it was a Puck as well, or Dendy just had a field day. But
it might have been,
yeah,
I
can't remember. I'll have to go back and look. Fails me.
Puppy with a haste rune, unable to put it to use. Rest of Empire, though, hanging out in lane and all about when and if they want to engage. Poison Touch on the Van score. They're not going to follow up on it, though. In mid, we can see a little bit of pushback from Dindy now. Comes out with a full health bar, though he is more than a full level behind. Havost eating a little bit of damage. Is going to be a Gale onto Puppy. Cold Feeder there, and the Rocket Barrage doing some damage, but Silent taking more damage than he can deal out. It will be First Blood going to Always Want to Fly, but they're going to lose Silent in exchange. Now, Always Want to Fly could be in some trouble as well. These are squishy supports who have shot their load. Havost will certainly try to go after him. Gonna have a Shikuchi, and there it is. A 2-for-1 exchange, and Havost going to end up dead in exchange for it, though. Now Kuro caught with the Gale, and Silent ready to unload with the Rocket Barrage. So, as the dust settles, that makes it 3-2, and Empire actually coming out ahead there.
I don't know why Havost waited to use Sakuchi for so long. It was quite apparent that the combo there was he Sakuchi's in, the healing wave comes out, and then you auto attack. But he walked up, because Sakuchi was off cooldown the whole time. He walked up, auto attack, and then just kind of waited for 2 seconds or so, and as a result, he was up too far, and the TP came out a little bit earlier. And here comes the regen rune, actually bottom. Stolen by Puppy, so good job from him. as he actually does a lot of damage resolution. But yeah, I think Avos kind of a small misplay right there, but it made a difference. He might have been able to live if he just Sakuchi'd right away.
Yeah, I agree with you. It was kind of odd to even watch that play out.
He was holding on to it, and I don't know why. There was a good 2 seconds, I think, maybe like 1.5 that he could have used it earlier.
Silent catching up in CS quite well. He's actually sitting at 2 ahead of Avos, 17 to, at the time, 15, now up to 16. So basically right on top of each other. Resolution continues to do well here in mid. Dindy's at about half of his rate, sitting at 10 to 23. And the laning phase definitely seeming to go the way of Empire. Centaur, though, Funnick up to a great start. Top of the CS.
He's dominating.
Yep, 29 CS.
Yeah, he's almost a full level above Mag as well. He has a Stampede too, so this is when Navi can get really aggressive down here.
And Havos and Kuro moving into the jungle while Silent able to farm under his own tower. Now the question for me becomes, what kind of a build is he going to go? Is he going to, like, when you look at Navi's team, there is some magic damage to worry about, but I don't know that a BKB is even super necessary. I mean, do you go with something a little bit more pocket? Something like a Shadow Blade build, which is kind of a throwback? Do you go with a pure Greed build? He will be getting his phase boots up, so no surprise there. Do you go for an early Helm of the Dominator? Like, if you're in this position right now for Empire, what do you think the optimum build is? Hold that thought. Always want to fly. Pursued by Puppey as the Stampede is popped. They get the leech seed off. Dindy's right there with him. Is not level 6, so doesn't have an Assassinate to draw upon. Don't know if they'll need it. Yep, a couple of auto attacks, and he makes it to the high ground. Puppey's right there behind him. Can he catch him? No. And in the meantime, Nyx actually gets a solo kill onto the Dazzle down at bottom.
Yeah, and that's just simply, I mean, Danny doesn't have boots yet. He wasn't able to catch AA, who does have boots. That's pretty bad when your mid doesn't have boots and the support does. And also, I feel like even just one level in the take aim actually makes quite a bit of difference. So obviously the chance to proc the headshot doesn't scale. It's 40% flat. The damage is a significant buff, but I feel like if he had one in to take aim, he actually would have gotten the kill there.
Yeah.
On the AA. It's kind of one of those retrospect things. It's not the biggest deal in the world. But yeah, that's a little bit unfortunate.
Just realized earlier talking about that, I actually mixed them up. I have a tendency to do that with Sniper because you see him so rarely. Yeah, take aim. Obviously the one that increases range, while headshot, like you said, the one that procs the mini stun and the bonus damage. Na'Vi, though, trailing 2-4, and Dindy trying to fight his way back into things. He's sitting at 20 CS to Resolution's 35, so Rez obviously off to a very good start. Has a haste room bottled up and already got some more stuff out on the way to it.
Yeah, and I feel for Denny too. There's potential for a Sniper to win this matchup. You have to play very passive though. But Puck has actually a lot of base damage early on, much more than Sniper. Sniper actually, despite his really good attack animation, his base damage is actually pretty crappy. It's not very high. So Resolution he did his job, and Dendy, despite not doing well in mid, he knows his limitations, and he knows that if he makes one wrong step, especially with a haste rune up on the Puck, he could be dead. And actually, he pops it right now. He's going bottom.
Vost looking to get aggressive, eating a lot of damage. There's going to be the shallow grave. He spins the time lapse there, just to get himself back to full health. Always want to fly. Nice coil comes out from Resolution, catching Kuro. There's the call down. Not going to be enough to catch Avos, and Resolution out of mana, doing what damage he can, but unable to catch up with him, even with that haste rune. So Silent got very low there, but Empire once again able to swing it into their favor. Dindy, though, happy to have some space and some solo farm for a little while, pecking away at the tower while he can, and even has Puppey there in case there was a big response. Resolution will show his face again. So things should settle down. At this moment, we're 8.5 minutes in, and the gold just slightly in lead of Empire right now, and the experience slightly in Empire's lead as well. I think that's actually pretty good news for Na'Vi, given they are trailing by this many kills, and they have had so many struggles elsewhere.
Yeah, and actually, thanks to the stats man here, it says Sniper's 36 to 42 base damage is the 4th lowest in Dota 2. So you always think, oh, Sniper, you can get every last hit with that instant animation, but if you're going up against someone that has significantly higher base damage than you, then it's actually quite difficult if the opposition knows what they're doing. And Na'Vi, even though they're trailing by by a little bit amount early team fights, it's really Funnick who's just absolutely dominated this top lane, at least in terms of CS. 50 and 27 compared to Mag's 20 and 2. We have seen some more rotations from Mag, but that's simply, I think, because, oh crap, I'm doing badly in my lane, I better go help my teams elsewhere.
Exactly. And Funnick already with the Blink Dagger and Tranquil Boots up. I mean, he's ready to make an impact right now. Dindy has finally found his level 6, level 8. Resolution eating some damage. Kuro shows his own face. At what point do you think we're going to see Funnick rotate out of there? We actually see a kill onto the gyrocopter down over in bottom.
Yeah, this is one of those again. Oh, there's a Blink Dagger actually up on the Funnick. That's very early. Pre-10-minute Blink Dagger when you're soloing 1v1. So Funnick is really making plays here early on for Navi. But sorry, what question do you ask before that?
It was actually just when exactly related to that. I mentioned that Funnick had the Blink Dagger, and when do you think he's going to start to really try to have a bigger impact and get away from just flat out farming?
It can be any time, man. I mean, the great thing is he can go Blink Initiate. He can also use the ult to have his team initiate for him across the map. So yeah, I can't stress enough how warmed up I have been to this Centaur pick. It's just such a good hero.
Puppy in trouble at top. Will end up being a kill with the Chilling Touch there to help out. Tried to get something off there at the end, but the damage output between Vendetta and Chilling Touch just a little bit too much. 6-3, Empire finds themselves another kill. And Dindy, though, sitting at 40 CS now. He's holding pace, at least for the moment. And I'm curious to see what he's going to grab. He's got 1,000 gold tucked away, and he has his Glove of Haste up. Could be a Midas. Yeah,
it's going to be a Midas. He would have already bought his treads by now. And
yep.
I feel like you kind of have to go initiation bottom. There's the blink from Funnick. Ulti on top of that silence just dead. And this is what I was going to say earlier too. Just addressing the lack of mobility, at least from 3 of these heroes on Empire. And Gyro, man, I just feel like this was definitely not the pick for Gyro this game. I already feel like this hero is kind of fallen off, and then they pick him into a scenario that just, I feel like is not very good for him, and he's feeling that right now.
Yeah, and still waiting to see what item choice he's going to make. I mean, a BKB's always good, but I mean, when you look at the problems he's going to face, I mean, he's going to be out DPS by the sniper pretty damn quickly. If he doesn't start to do something about it earlier rather than later. We're going to see Dindy eat the Vendetta. Almost dodges the impale, but Funnick's there. Turns around on Resolution. There's a kill. Down goes the Weave as well. Call Down will be there to help out. Funnick trying to get out of it. Puppy's rushing forward. Does not have level 6. Assassinate from the low ground. Not enough to bring down Mag, but Na'Vi able to maintain their ground. And now beginning to force their way down. We're going to see Silent tracked down by Funnick. The blink and the stomp. Havos manages to find a kill elsewhere in the meantime. And the impale from Mag off the mark. We see them healed up with the Shadow Wave. And Funnick will be able to blink back down to the low ground to the safety and succor of his teammates. Not even going to have to do that. Instead, just going to get healed up by Puppy.
Yeah, and as far as Funnick is just going to keep going in. He finds Always Want to Fly yet again. And such easy kill, easy peasy for Funnick. Not much easy, but yeah, as far as the Gyro's items that you're asking, it can't be BKB. There's no way. It's a horrible game for BKB, but then what do you get? I mean, it's got to be like drums and like.
He's already got an Aquila up though. I mean, that going drums Aquila both is just kind of meh. I feel like
he's gonna need some kind of just stat item that's good and that gives him mobility. Honestly, maybe even just like Saint Yasha.
Yep.
He needs mobility. He needs to maneuver around with good HP, but BKB is not going to do it. It's just, again, I feel like this is just not a good pick.
Yep. We'll find out one way or the other. Dindy does have his Midas up and now putting it to work as he goes into the jungle. Loves that attack speed build on the sniper, especially whenever it involves a hand of Midas. The rest of Empire has hooked up. They have lost the kill lead. 7-6 now in favor of Na'Vi. And the gold lead is actually turned in Na'Vi's favor. It was fairly close for most of the game. Right about 10 minutes is when things turned around. We can see the experience right there with them. They're going to try and change that, though, as they smoke 3. That's the Ancient Apparition, the Puck, and the Nyx Assassin around. And they're going to look for a target. They're going to find Kuro. Kuro should die very quickly. Oh, beautiful impale that actually just got lucky more than anything, but it bought time for the grave. Here comes the rest of the help up from top. Funnick manages to get a kill there. After the grave expires, we see Kuro dying. And Havos just continuing to do work. Spotted out Mag and now right-clicking him down. And Na'Vi loses 1 but gains 3 and keeps the tower up. So it seems like every time Empire tries to make something happen, they just dig the hole deeper and deeper.
Yeah, and it's really the sustainability, too, from Na'Vi. They spend so much time trying to kill the graved-up Dazzle that they used most of their spells on him, and that's not a hero that you want to be using all your spells on to begin with. So Na'Vi's in a fantastic spot right now. And it's going to be really hard with the lineup that Empire has to kind of furnish any kind of comeback. So it's going to be really hard for them. They're going to need some lucky pickoffs and some mistakes from Navi.
Dindy now getting up into the top 3 in overall CS. Overall net worth, he's actually in 3rd position there as well. And I hate to be that fatalistic kind of a guy, but this is a gyro game. You're running a gyro. Gyro can't afford to fall behind to a Weaver and a Sniper. He just can't. He can't win those matchups. He will not win those matchups. And he's already 2,000 gold behind the Weaver. What do you even do in that situation?
Really quick, Funnick's being blocked right now by Vanscore, but he might just blink. Oh, no, he actually gets... Oh, the ultimate out, so it's going to evade the call down. Matt can't get the stun off right there. And now they're going to turn this around with the Weaver.
He did get caught with the Ancient Apparition ulti, but the damage on Weave a little too high for them to want to re-engage into it. Rest of Empire able to retreat, so even though Funnick was being blocked over by that strand of trees, Empire unable to get anything out of it.
Yeah, that ultimate is so good. They need like a Puck coil right there. So Puck's actually pretty good against Centaur, because even with the haste, you need a BKB to get out of that coil, but Puck wasn't around, so yeah, good play by Funnick. He's really seemed to be kind of like the... Oh, I missed a kill actually as Puck. It's a free kill with Treant right there, but Funnick really seems to be like, in my opinion, the shining star in the series, really. I mean, he's been playing perfectly, it seems, every game. He had a rough game in game 1 as a Darkseer, but he had a lot of deaths, but I still feel like he did his job in that game. It was more of a draft thing. But in game 2 and then this game, he's really been performing.
Yeah, we can see already how much damage Assassinate's doing to Silent. And they're going to try to re-engage. Mag used his carapace up. No stun to catch him, though. Just a little bit of right click on his way out the door. Dindy now up to Wraithband, Midas, and Treads. And he's actually catching up to Funnick. As phenomenal a start as Funnick had, Dindy's now catching up. We're going to see, yep, there's the blink. And he, oh, beautifully timed on the stomp. What a sick play. That is so hard to time because the cast on it is so quick.
Yeah, really good play by Funnick. Again, he's just proving my point right now. There is an ult from Mag, though. They actually might be able to get a kill, and that's a dominating streak, so it'll be a good chunk of change if they can get him. The A Ice Blast is going to hit, and yeah, 500 gold, give or take, for Mag, so desperately needed.
The return, quite worthwhile, I would say. I mean, obviously you don't want to lose your puck if you can help it, but making something happen to help those supports out, never a bad thing. And it's hard to believe we're 17 minutes into the game. This has felt like a much busier game than the other ones have. Sitting at 20 kills, 17 minutes in. And I don't know that it's really going to slow down. I mean, it's only going to get quicker and quicker as Dindy continues his item progression. We now see Havost has completed a Lincoln Sphere, so his survivability has now gone through the roof. There's so very little that can account for him now.
I still don't like the Lincolns. I still feel like if you look at, like, you just look at their lineup, like, oh, what could kill me? Maybe a Puck coil, or... Like, that's the good thing about Puck, is Puck doesn't give two shits about a Lincoln's on whoever it is. Oh, actually on the Silent.
Yep,
we can see. He might still be okay. He might still be okay, but
here's the Lincolns. That's why you buy the Lincolns, right there.
I mean, I don't think he was going to get a kill anyway, so if he died, it was his fault, but I'm just thinking, okay, you get by BKB, there's nothing I can kill you, because there's no physical DPS on Empire, but it's still not bad for the regen, but whatever.
Bad news, man. Bad news. The Gyro has picked up an Ogre Club. So...
BKB's just not going to do anything for him.
I agree.
Maybe Saint Yasha could be okay, and I think that's probably his best bet, just simply for the mobility, but even then, it's like, So, I don't know. We'll see, I guess.
Ooh, trying to track down Puppy. They have the damage they do. Coil spent, and he will shatter. Resolution with the help, and he's going to end up dead. Maybe. Yep, there it is. Dindy not doing a lot of damage, but what little damage he's doing it very quickly. Up at top, we see them diving out on the target there as well. Mag's there to follow up with the Vendetta. Another TP coming in. Carapace is there, and the Rocket Barrage should be enough DPS to bring him down. So they managed to trade again. Funnick dying off, but Dindy already has his Mask of Madness up, and this feels kind of familiar, my friend.
And I actually missed the kill that Denny got onto Resolution, so good for him. There's TPs up the top. I was actually kind of laughing at the the animation of Puppy when he ulted, it was like he was doing the YMCA or something. He like spreads his legs, puts his arms up, action up onto Kuroki. Boy, he gets just burst down. Poor Kuroki, but they get the tier 1 tower bottom, so I'm sure he's fine with that.
Yeah. Dindy shoving the lane and free farming away. We'll see what the next item he wants to pick up is going to be. If it's a Blink Dagger, which is the build he used last time, it's not far away, only about 800 gold right now. Avos, in the meantime, is actually taking the enemy agents, or as many of them as he can, before he begins to feel a little threatened. Silent will rotate over. And, yep, looks like he's ready to go after him himself. Doesn't have any lifesteal, so he's got to be a little careful about how he does this. But should be able to bring him down, and a nice infusion of gold for him.
Yep, absolutely. As we look at the graphs here, EXP... Yeah, this is all in favor of Na'Vi right now, and it looks kind of grim. Just from a drafting standpoint from Empire, they have no capabilities of coming back, so to speak. It's all got to be outplays, and I feel like when Na'Vi's ahead, it's very, very difficult to get back on the other side because they make very few mistakes when they're ahead, I feel.
And we see a double smoke, actually, as they cross paths very, very near each other. Mag's going to go ahead and use his Vendetta to try and track someone down. Dindy's the natural target. They're going to get him with a coil. Very near max range coil there from Resolution, so that's a nice kill for them to secure. No one else from Na'Vi was in the vicinity, so they did spend a coil and a Centaur ult to get it. In the meantime, in mid, Vanscore in a lot of trouble, being pursued by Havosta into the trees. Mag's right there. Not a whole lot he could do but watch his buddy die. And, yeah, he might maybe try to re-engage here, but I don't, even then, yeah, there's no way he can track him down. And the pipe already up on Funnick, so up here we go. Jumping in to clear things out a little bit near the Ancients. Was curious if, yep, they're going to go ahead and go for this. And this would not be a bad Ancient stack to take. That's at least, yeah, that's a couple of big creeps and a couple of small ones.
Yeah, the pipe is so good, or even just the hood for Funnick on Centaur. When he does that double edge, as you just saw, it does like no damage to him, pretty much whatsoever. It did like, I think, yeah, like 100 damage, maybe. So he's in a great position, and there is Roshan up. Maybe they want to do that. Na'Vi, they have some good vision. They have a little bit of map control as well. All their towers are standing, so yeah. Again, this is going to be pretty hard for Empire, and as we see, it is, yep, confirmed BKB for Silent.
I just don't know where their damage is going to come from. Like, the kills they're getting are coming from really nice plays from the Puck and the AA and the Nyx Assassin and so on. I mean, they're earning every bit of what they do have. But once Na'Vi decides it's time to 5-man, what is that gyro really going to contribute in any practical sense? Unless they just walk into a team fight, group up, and all stand in a call down, he's just not going to be that big of a factor.
Yeah, and once you get a BKB up onto the Weaver, he's just going to run in, and they literally have no way to kill him. No way. I really feel like there's no way. It has to be... No, I can't even think of a way. Actually, he's in a little bit of trouble. No BKB yet. He could be dead. And yep, he's dead. And that's a big chunk of change there for Mag. The unstoppable streak ended. So, again, I just feel like that Lincoln's was such a waste for him, but space created, right? They got the Roshan.
Space created indeed. Roshan drops. Empire wants a tier 1. And this is just another one of those games. We're at 22 minutes. This tower is not only still up, every tier 1 tower is still up at this stage. And most of them are over, all of them are over half health. They're going to have plenty of time to respond to this if they want to. And it looks like they do. I mean, they're rotating up Funnick and Puppy at the very least. They broke off Kuro just to be safe. Tower at about 1/3 health. They're bringing in more help. That's going to be Dindy landing in. And tower does end up dropping. Let's see if they want to engage off of that. And nope, just getting into a defensive position to try and halt the push before it goes any deeper into the ruin zone.
Yeah, they don't want to fight right now with the Weaver being down, so. They also had low mana on Puppy, I believe. And oh, here comes an offensive smoke from Empire. It was broken, though.
Oh. Impale off the mark. They managed to miss with the Waning Rift as well. There's going to be an overgrowth, and now Empire in a lot of trouble. Assassinate. Oh, actually canceled by Dindy. Now it's back on. There it is. That was a heads-up play as it was canceled. We see the Aegis has been spent, but Na'Vi now going to pursue out the remainder of Empire. And Vanscore is going to make for an easy kill. And Puppy, that poor tree, limping around. Silent managed to make it away, but again, what is he really contributing here? I mean, Na'Vi's advantage in teamfights is just gigantic at this stage.
Well, they actually did pretty good damage to Funnick, but Na'Vi, and I've been noticing this about them, they're really good at utilizing the Aegis. They had the Weaver down, I still think, for like a few more seconds when that fight started, but they knew that they could have kind of suicided the Centaur there, and they wasted pretty much all their spells on him, but then he just came back, and then Navi proceeded to own them all, so good utilization of the Aegis there.
Havost being Havost and doing good damage in the meantime. He got an Ice Blast in the face, though he did dive back behind the Tier 3 at bottom to get that kill. Mag knows where he's headed. Drops the sentry, and look at Havost. He doesn't have a TP. Yep, he's spotted. Waiting for the, yep, another one goes down. Shoot it, Mag. Can he do it? Manages to catch him. Let's see if there's any follow-up. Has Vendetta ready. There's going to be a Gale. Carapace is up as well. Just so tanky, and they don't have the damage. There's going to be a Centaur ult, and Havost ready to run away with the help. Never mind. That was actually Funnick using the Centaur ult to come in and secure a double-edged kill, while Havost just had living armor and ran back to safety. So I think we just saw two great examples of how far ahead Na'Vi actually is. Havost dove Tier 3, was caught and spotted out forever in mid, and they still couldn't really touch him.
Yeah, I can't stop brainstorming about what Empire could do if this Gyro was a different hero. And I hate going back to that, but I really feel like drafting is, it's obviously such a huge part of Dota. And especially when you're drafting, and they should know from the get-go that, here we go, big initiation from Funnick.
Good two-man stomp. Silent should be able to maybe make it away. Nope, he's going to be pursued by Havost. Havost, though, caught with the coil. And there's the jump back from Resolution. Call down used to try and just stem the tide of Na'Vi. But yeah, in all of these fights, he's just giving nothing. And it's not even really his fault. I'm with you. I don't know what the item build's about, and the pick in and of itself is questionable to begin with. And just look at Dindy peck at this tower from pretty much back at his damn fountain.
Yeah. Yeah, what has Dindy gotten also? Oh, the blink, of course, same thing.
Good waning rift, caught 4. No follow-up on it, though. And Empire basically just trying to delay what seems to be inevitable at this point. And Dindy could just do this pretty much forever. It's the beauty of that Blink Dagger pickup. He could just walk up with the creep wave, peck at the tower. As soon as he sees a hero from Empire that looks like he wants to come out, blink away.
Yeah, he's going Maelstrom right now. I feel like if he went MKB, it'd be even better. You would go more action.
Resolution, the first to drop. There's a weave that goes off. Vanscorn next on the list. Silent has popped his BKB, but so has everyone else. Lands the best call down of the game, and Rocket Barrage allows him to secure 1 kill. In the meantime, though, Havost Weaver able to track down a kill behind enemy lines and make it back via time lapse. It's a 3-for-2 exchange, and let's see, Na'Vi not in the mood to engage. Yep, they thought about it. Funnick blinked forward, did not stomp, and I think trying to bait out the Carapace there, but unable to do so. And yeah, they're just going to go back to farming.
Well, the Gyro killed the tree. I mean, I guess that's good. He has another 2,200 under his belt, and now I'm very curious to see what he goes for, because he definitely needs the right click. Actually, to be honest, his right click's not terrible. It's 160. As he's going to initiate it right now, a lot of damage. Havost coming in now as well. Mag with a little bit of a save. Can he get him a couple more auto attacks? He looks like he might be okay for now. So yeah, and there's the mech. So. Yeah, actually, to be honest, his damage isn't horrible. I thought it would be worse. It's about 160, but I'm very curious to see what he picks up now.
I'm thinking about it as well. Hold on that thought. With 85 base damage, Treant Protector has the highest base damage of any hero in Dota 2. Who has the second highest?
Gotta say Tiny.
Tiny, yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
My guess.
Yep, Tiny was my guess, so we'll roll with that one. See where we sit on that. But yeah, Na'Vi, 5 digits, well into 5 digits actually, right around, call it 13 Gs to their name in terms of lead, even more so with the experience. And we can see by the net worth graph, they are way ahead. Basically, Dindy, hang on, Rezo in trouble in mid. There's the Shadow Wave to follow up the initiation, and down he goes. A ultimate will miss just by a pixel or two over in the Ancients. We can see Dindy just going to work and doing his thing. But I mean,
yeah.
What can Empire do to try and stabilize this game at
all? Well, I think they have to capitalize on over extensions from Na'Vi. That's where I've seen the most success from them. When Na'Vi jumps in and then kind of counter initiates with a quick coil, and then they get 2 fast kills. That seems to be what's working best for them at this moment. Obviously, that's banking on first Na'Vi has to make a mistake. That they have to do that. They have to wait for Na'Vi to make a mistake. But those opportunities are only going to come, once a blue moon at this stake when they're up this far. So, and it's hard to, it's unfair to put all the not blame, but the hardships on Gyro, because it's kind of like a picking error, so to speak. But also, if you look at Resolution, he has not really had a good game outside of the laning phase. His net worth is actually lower than Mags on the Nyx Assassin right now.
Na'Vi poking away at the tower here, and we're going to see a coil. A ultimate is there. Good impale. Now they want to follow it up, but the BKBs are up. Mag not likely to live for long, and there's a very nice overgrowth from Puppey trying to turn this around. Vanscore is going to be the first one to drop behind the fight. Always want to fly. No mana, can't contribute. Silent in the meantime, managing to get himself on a killing spree. It's a 2-for-2 exchange as the Dazzle actually bought back to try and get back into this. And Resolution trying to teleport home will make it. And the problem is the tier 3 is already down. Havost is still up and ready to fight. He's got 4,000 gold tucked away, and that's going to be at least 1 racks down, most likely 2. As they have the chance to sell out with the Nyx Assassin down. There will be a waning rip to try and short things a bit. Silent is going to come out, and yeah, Weaver just doesn't care. He's going to rush right into his face. Very nice ulti onto the Dazzle in the meantime. And that'll be a good return kill. Now Puppey's next on the list. There's a jump from Resolution. Do they have the damage? Good blocking and a waning rift there as well. And, ooh, the Gale came very close to getting the Weaver, but not quite close enough. But I think the Empire just answered my question. What can they do? They could just hold their towers as best they can. They lost the range racks, but at least the melee is still standing.
Yeah, they're capitalizing on the mistakes from Na'Vi. And I actually thought that fight was going to go really badly because I feel like Empire's best bet is to win with the counter initiation, but they were actually the ones to initiate that fight. And it's all a matter of how much can they get done when Gyro, blows his load, so to speak. Like, he casts all his stuff, and he has his BKB up and call down, and the flat cannon. If he can get at least 1 kill, maybe almost 2, then he's kind of done his job. And Silent, actually, with what he's working with in the Gyro pick, he's actually been doing a good job.
Map beginning to stabilize itself out some. That'll suit Empire quite. That's actually Spirit Breaker. Tiny and Chaos Knight 64 are
1
right
damage off. Look at that.
That's why they call it trivia. But, yeah, I think this is going to suit Empire just fine. Little time. Just give Gyro a little time. He's actually going to go straight up for a butterfly. I like that a lot. Helps him out so much. I mean, obviously in survivability, you're forcing an item pickup out of someone on Na'Vi to deal with that. And Havost, well, Havost has got 5,200 gold. He could just about flat bind MKB right now.
Are under attack.
Yeah, I think Butterfly is fine. This goes back to what I was saying about Dendy, and he has the Mjolnir now. I would have liked to see MKB just a bit more, because with the range buff on Take Aim, it makes it for 100% accuracy on getting those attacks off onto the racks, and you're at a very safe position, right? So he does go for the Mjolnir. It's actually quite good if you cast that onto the Centaur and he just kind of runs up in front with living armor on him. So it's not terrible, but my flavor would be the MKB.
25-20. And look at Empire. Yep, I was going to say they're either falling back to smoke or falling back just because they're scared of the smoke. And looks like it might have been a little bit of both as they move out with a handful under cover of smoke while Silent plays bait. Na'Vi is under their tier 1. And Phonic pushing bottom. Looks like they might take a run at him. Nope, they're going to bypass him entirely. Chilling Touch used on the back of that fight, and they're going to try to sneak a Roshan. This could be disaster if it's spotted out. They move right into the pit.
Oh, wow. This is ballsy. Phonix can get the flank, too. He has a fresh BKB as well.
Yep, they know it's there. And here we go. They're going to go for it. Resolution pulling out. There's going to be the Stampede. The Mansion could always want to fly. He'll drop early in the fight. Now the call down's there. Vanscore going to get the ulti off and die afterwards. Behind that, Puppey forced to pull back. We see Havost in some trouble. There's a very good grave to save him, though, and Phonic just going pure ham as he notches a triple kill by the time all is said and done. Mag is forced to retreat. Na'Vi loses none and kills 3, and going to end up killing a 4th as Roshan next on the list.
Yeah, and BKB wasn't even popped by Havost. And I don't even think Puppey's ult hit anybody. I'm not 100% sure, but it didn't look like it hit anybody, and they didn't even need it. So, free Roshan for them. Easy fight for Na'Vi. Aegis goes to Dendy. Perfect candidate for that. And, yeah, this should be the melee racks in mid, and if not more.
Yep, I agree. Don't know. I mean, that was probably their best chance. They had to do something desperate, and you knew they had to take a chance to get themselves back in this. But at this stage, the gyro hanging at a decent clip at right around 13,000 gold was giving them some hope, but things are just getting too out of hand at this point. And this Rax in mid, don't know how much longer it's going to be standing. Havos, the one leading with the chin, has his butterfly up of his own. And the gyro finishes. There we go. We're going to have a jump in from Funnick. And following the coil, BKB is going to be used. Mag pops the carapace. Stampede gets them on top of them. Mag using the wand, but not enough. And now Havos ready to dive and do what Havos does. Play ultra aggressive diving band score all the way back to the well behind the fight. Silent. Re-engaged upon by Na'Vi. Uses his BKB. That'll secure his own exit from the engagement. There's going to be an assassinate attempt. Doesn't get the kill, but does damage. Waning Rift caught a few, but not a whole lot they could do except call G it. Yep. At 35 minutes. I really don't know if they had a choice. I mean, again, you're talking 20,000 gold and experience. And whenever you literally can't engage, I mean, the gyrocopter pick just did not give them much of anything. We saw a couple of times where he would get isolated just the right way against the target, where he could use rocket barrage. Once in a while, a call down would catch 2 or 3 targets. But for the most part, there was just no chance whatsoever for him to really contribute to these fights the way he wanted to and need to. 5, 4, and 9, all he could tally.
Yeah, Funnick owned so hard in this game, too.
He did.
His laning phase against Nyx, and I don't think that's really Mag's fault. I do think that Centaur has the edge. But, I mean, he was like 40 CS up onto him at like the 9-minute mark. So Funnick doing fantastic for him, and I still think Silent actually played quite well, all things considered. It was not an easy game for him. I think the biggest thing, too, is resolution. He had a fantastic start on Dendy. He really did, but I don't think he snowballed it as much as he maybe could have. I think he could have maybe rotated a bit. And that's where I think with their draft in mind, that's where I think they needed to change something. So
couldn't agree more. I mean, I think we both are pretty much on the same page there. Looking at the standout performers, 13-2 on Funnick, went 0-8 on poor Kuro, and didn't get a kill, died a whole bunch, but for the most part, did his job at a couple of really clutch graves here and there. Another great game for Havos as he goes 12-2. 580, the highest GPM. That was, of course, Havos out of all that. And Puppy on the tree. Again, box score doesn't tell the story. Played a very effective tree and protector. As Na'Vi pulls out the win 2-1 after dropping game 1. They won 2 in a row. It's been an absolute pleasure having you here, guys. I'm your host, Aaron AC Chambers. And that voice on the other side, that's, of course, Trouf, joining us from Korea, lending his insight and analysis. Trouf, my friend, thank you so much for the broadcast again. We're going to be back tomorrow, then we get Saturday off, and on the official schedule, super serious schedule it is, we're listed as Swimming with Otters as our daily activity, so you're welcome to join us for that. But after tomorrow, we'll, of course, be back on Sunday. Before we let you go, drop the deets, man. Where can they find more about you? Twitter, streams, and elsewhere.
Yeah, my Twitter is at TroufDota. My stream is www.twitch.tv/Trouf. I don't stream as much anymore, but I will try to.
All right.
And yeah, that's about it.
There you go. Make sure you check it out at TroufDota. And, of course, Nahaz, our great stat man who joined us today. Joins us when he can. You can find him at NahazDota. He tends to tweet some really cool stuff about big matches that are going on at any given point. So always a fun guy to have on your Twitter follow list. And then there's me, AC. That's at AYESEE on Gmail. And yeah, man, it's been a blast. I do have another code that I want to give out for
Sure.
Dota Lounge. And wherever did I put it? There it is. All right, so our last code of the day. Again, go to dota2lounge.com/giveaway. And make sure you're logged in before you try to go there. Otherwise, it'll prompt you to log in. So give everyone 5 seconds or so to go do that, put their information in, and log in via Steam. But head there, and as soon as you see this, the first person to put this code in will get 10 free rares, courtesy of our friends at Dota2 Lounge. Here we go. The code is TNCE, Tango, Nitro, Chlorine, Electricity. There you go.
Nice.
Yeah, you can tell I've got a real military pedigree, huh?
Yeah, there you go.
Once again, on behalf of myself, Nahaz, Trouf, and of course our production guy, Conrad, thank you for joining us for today's broadcast of the D2L Western Challenge. We'll be back tomorrow at noon Pacific Standard Time, 2100 Central European Time. Look forward to it. Until then, enjoy your evening and enjoy some Dota.